Hello everyone and welcome back to another DrAce video. Today we are using Aleix Espargaro in the terrific circuit of Catalonia here on board the Aprilia RSGP. Now of course this is Aleix Espargaro's final season within MotoGP, as in the term of a actual racer. From this year, or from next year onward should I say, he will be Honda's test rider, which I think is absolutely brilliant for the sport, fantastic for the RC213V, and also great for Aleix Espargaro as well, because it seems like the perfect spot for him to be in, so he can be with his family, he can have fun and still ride a MotoGP bike as good as he always has done. But today I'm just going to do a couple of laps around Catalonia, get the feeling back for MotoGP 24 and just have fun with it. I've had a terrific weekend in Garmisch in Germany for BMW Motorrad days. It was absolutely brilliant. I had some wonderful German company and it was just a great experience. You've probably seen my pictures on both the YouTube community posts and of course Instagram as well. But yeah, just a terrific time. It was absolutely brilliant. Weather was great until Sunday, where it was absolutely peed down, which was okay because it felt familiar, felt like home, so I didn't really mind too much. But yeah, it's been brilliant, and honestly I just wanted to get back to making videos here today. But I have been playing a lot of Ride 5 over the weekend and showing people how to play Ride 5 and also giving tips and tricks on how to improve with the BMW M1000RR on Ride 5. It was great, but I did use a PS5 console and I noticed that it felt ever so slightly different to how the PS5 controller works and operates on PC. It felt a little bit more twitchy, a bit more sensitive in certain ways, so just had to try and get used to now getting back home, playing with my DualSense controller, with my PC, my 4K settings, everything else, and just getting back into it. So Catalonia's a track I really like. Aleix Espargaro, of course, making sense to talk about him because I don't think I've even really discussed the fact that he's going to Honda. So yeah, I guess we can talk about that as well. But today I just wanted to chill out, have fun, and just enjoy playing MotoGP again for the first time in a couple of days. I mean, I played it on my Steam Deck whilst I was at the airport. That was fun. But I did scare myself because I had that problem again where my time trial completely crashed and I could not access time trial again. I think I now know a fix, so if you're ever affected by that, let me know and I should be able to advise you. But if you are having that problem now and you want that advice immediately, all I did was go offline, so completely remove my internet connection, start a time trial session, and then immediately quit. And then cancel the game, turned it all off, put the Wi-Fi back on, and then it worked. So, yeah. Guys, try that if you're having that same problem like I did. I know one of the channel members, Heyday, also had that same issue in our Discord server not so long ago. But let's talk MotoGP then. Let's talk MotoGP 24 and the 2025 season. I had to keep away from social media over the weekend, which was never easy because I always get a lot of comments and a lot of messages, so it's difficult for me to ignore. I don't want to say ignore, but not to look at it, because it was risky, the fact that I could see a spoiler from MotoGP, because for some strange reason my MotoGP subscription via Dorna would not let me access it because I was in Germany. It was claiming that my login and information did not match my country of origin for where I purchased the account. Yes, I could have had a VPN, etc., but I just didn't really get that much time to sort these sort of things out. So I had to just patiently wait until I got home, back home here in England, to watch MotoGP and the Sachsenring. And I must confess, what 3 brilliant races. I'm still yet to watch Moto E, I didn't get much chance yet, so I'll catch up with that later on. But regarding Moto 3, that was a brilliant race. Sorry to see Colin Via go down. The championship's looking more or less done and dusted now for David Alonso. He's going to be absolutely battering it here from this point onwards. But the race was great. Moto 2 was fantastic, seeing Celestino Vietti back up the front, Jake Dixon on the podium, Fermin Aldeguer standing back on the top step, and of course Tony Arbolino in there as well in the fight, and getting a bit of confidence again, which you always like to see when a rider has been struggling for an ample amount of time. So really positive stuff, and for the first time in a while, Moto 2 had some closely fought competitive races. Usually one person ends up disappearing and then yeah, you don't get that much of a competition. But also MotoGP caught the sprint, was able to watch that. I was able to watch MotoGP race as well. all good stuff. Very surprised because I was thinking that Marquez would either win or crash, like I said in my video a few days ago. And I also suggested that Jorge Martin would probably win, with Pecco Bagnaia finishing somewhere on the podium. I was wrong. Martin crashed, Pecco won, and Marquez did not crash or win. He finished on the podium and was quite happy with the result. But I will say, how good is it to see the two brothers finish on the podium together? I love to see that. I always wanted to see the Espargaro brothers finish on the podium. I think that would have been really cool. And I like Alex Marquez. I think he's one of the most underrated guys in MotoGP. If you've got a satellite team, then Alex Marquez should definitely be considered for your team. I think he's a good rider. Moto2 champion, Moto3 champion. Certainly not a rider you should scoff at, but people tend to do. Because, quite clearly, he's overshadowed by a massive mountain, which is Marc Marquez. And that's just must be so difficult to try and follow in the footsteps of your brother, who's so competitive, so strong, and so successful. So I think Marc Marquez, obviously, no question, one of the best. Alex Marquez deserves some more credit. So I'm pleased to see him fighting for the podium. And final thought about Sachsenring before we talk more about Aleix Espargaro and the Honda acquisition. Franco Morbidelli, he was up there in the top two. It was great to see. Love to see Frankie up there at the front. It's been a couple of years since we've really seen him fighting at the top of a Grand Prix and just giving it elbows to some of the best riders in MotoGP. I mean, the collision with Marquez into turn one, that couldn't have been avoided. Unfortunately, things like that happen. Racing incident, gladly both riders okay. But in the flip side, it actually triggered Marc Marquez to say, okay, gloves are off, let's fight. And that actually worked out really well for the older of the Marquez siblings. So, yeah, that was brilliant. I think the last time we've seen Morbidelli that close to the front of a group of riders would have been in Argentina when he was in 4th place on the Yamaha. Probably last year, I think that was, when Marco Bezzecchi took his first win. That could have been the sprint, but it was good to see then, and it's good to see now. So, give it time. Morbidelli will be on the podium at this point this season. I guarantee at some point he will be on the podium, or I sincerely hope so anyway. But yeah, just want to say big thanks as well. I just made a few notes here. Just really appreciate all the patience you've had with me over the couple of days. I haven't been able to read all the comments as quickly as I would have wanted to, but I have tried to reply when and however possible to do it. So if I have missed any of your comments, if you've had any video requests and I've missed them, I apologise. I'll flick through again my messages, my DMs and everything else, and I'll be sure to try and accommodate all of the suggestions and videos very, very soon. Moto2 career mode will come back very soon as well. It's just that it's difficult to record those videos. They take a lot of time to do, and to edit them out and everything else, it does take me time that I didn't have this past week. So I'm looking forward to getting back into MotoGP 24, really getting my teeth back into the career mode and everything else as well. So really looking forward to that. But also at the same time, thank you for all the messages of support, for wishing me home safe, messaging me ideas and questions about BMW Motorrad. It's been fun. So thank you very much for that. Always do enjoy chatting to the aces, whether it be the Discord server, YouTube comments, or even private messages on the likes of Discord, and even on the occasion time Twitter as well, which I never really use, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's. I think we're good enough to digress for now. Happy to be back. Thanks for all your comments, and now let's crack on with the topic of today's video. I guess it is the topic, but at the same time, I think I'm just going to waffle on and we'll chat about everything and nothing MotoGP. So then, Aleix Espargaro, moving on from Aprilia, seemed to be the absolute key for all the dominoes to fall in place here in MotoGP real life. Jorge Martin jumping in the vacant seat of Aleix Espargaro, Maverick Vinales leaving to go to KTM next year, which still I'm not too sure about. I think he'll do well, but I think it could be a bit of a surprise. KTM is not doing all that well at the moment. The Ducati GP24 clearly seems to be the best bike on the grid. GP23 is following not too far behind. But the KTM, the Gas, of course, Gas will be removed from next season. KTM's combined, Maverick and Enea Bastianini, could be very interesting. But Aleix Espargaro moving on was something that had been discussed before, and he did say he would look at finishing by the end of 2024, and to be fair to him, he's been completely true to his word. So Aleix, moving on to Repsol Honda, I think is terrific. Him and Stefan Bradl should be able to produce some good results together in terms of development, and to be honest, I don't think Honda should stop there. I don't know the rules for test riders, I don't know if there is a limit or a maximum amount that you can have, but it would be nice to see them try and implement more former MotoGP riders to the Repsol Honda project. Also talks about Repsol Honda being no more, it'd be a different sponsor for next season. I'd heard a rumour about that, but I've not really looked into it too much. I think one of the YouTube comments actually told me about that I was not aware of, so big shout out to whoever it was who told me that. But regarding the Honda project, I think they need more. Aleix Espargaro is great, he will certainly help the development of the RC213V. Luca Marini, Joan Mir, both excellent riders, they're going to give it everything they can to continue to develop this motorcycle. And bear in mind, we're only 2 more years away from changing the landscape of MotoGP as we know it. No more 1000cc's, smaller motorcycles, aerodynamics, reduced electronics, so no more ride height device and things like this. So it could be a very quick resurgence for Honda, providing that the electronics go in their favour. Whenever things get homologated and everything all changes, there's always someone that rises to the occasion, and some of the big players end up dropping. So I am really curious to see what is going to happen when we get to 2027. Are the likes of Aleix Espargaro has helped significantly with the likes of the electronics, understanding the bike, developing something from nothing into something incredible? Could Aleix Espargaro bring that to Honda? He definitely could. There's definitely an option for that to happen. Danny Pedrosa has been absolutely critical for KTM, and we've seen the differences for having such an experienced and talented rider as the test rider. I don't want to knock Cal Crutchlow, and I don't want to knock the Yamaha side of things, but it does seem that they don't have that. They have Lorenzo for a very short time, which don't know why it came to a stop. It seemed to end ever so quickly, but having Lorenzo and Crutchlow would have been a great addition to the Yamaha team. The Iwata factory clearly needs something to improve. They are doing that bad, but they are doing bad into the fact that Fabio Quartararo was a MotoGP world champion a couple of years ago. Now they're pretty much nowhere. Alex Rins injured, Remy Gardner into cover for him, and Sachsenring as well. They need more people on the project, and I think the best thing to do is to bring as many riders as you can to build a cohesive motorcycle for multiple riders to use. Because one of the big flaws now with the Honda is that nobody wants to ride it. Joan Mir is not enjoying his time there. Luca Marini, of course, still fresh to the project. Too difficult to say whether he likes it or not. Of course, he's not going to like the results, but a project is something that takes time. You don't immediately start with greatness unless you're Valentino Rossi or someone like Marquez or Casey Stoner, for example. You don't always just immediately start and click with the bike to make it the best motorcycle in the world. So that is really interesting for Honda, and I think it's great. I'm really curious to see how Aleix Espargaro is going to look in Repsol Honda colours. I think it's always strange when you see someone in a specific colourway or livery for so many years, and then you see them in a completely different colour. I thought the strangest one was Marc Marquez in blue. And I think only now by the Sachsenring I'm beginning to like it, if that makes sense. I'm so used to seeing him with the orange, the reds, the whites, all from the Repsol Honda, so it looks always so strange to see him in different colours, and I think it's one of the biggest shocks we've had over the few years. And possibly Lorenzo in the Repsol Honda colours, that was rather strange, same as Lorenzo in Ducati as well. That was one of those big shocks as well. Very strange to see a rider in a different colour after so many years with one particular brand or motorcycle. And in fact, that makes me think. Let me know in the comments section down below what's one of the biggest surprises of aesthetics from a rider. So for example, Marquez going to Ducati, Lorenzo going to Honda. Which one do you think looks the most strange, being the word in quotation marks? Which one do you think looked so unique that it caught your attention and you just couldn't actually make sense of it until they actually sat in those colours for a few years? Yeah, let me know, because I'm genuinely curious to see which ones you guys are going to come up with, because I think I'd have to extend it to World Superbike as well. Seeing Jonathan Rea in Yamaha was a bit of a shock. And it's still been a bit of a shock because he hasn't really done much yet. So, yeah, that's definitely a surprise. And top rack on the BMWs, to be honest, didn't seem to surprise me so much. It looks quite normal. Even when Michael van der Mark moved over to the BMW, I just felt the blue and the black didn't look too much different. I mean, at the time for Mikey, he was on the white, so yeah, it looked a little bit different, but not too bizarre, let's say. But yeah, just one of those thoughts that's popped into my head, and I just had to ask you guys because I would love to know your guys' opinion. But regarding the feeling back in MotoGP 24, then I think it's becoming quite apparent that I'm getting there again. I don't feel so quick, but I feel comfortable. And I think that's all that matters. Having that vibration back, the feedback into the controller, is what I was missing so much on Ride 5. I did manage to get some decent lap times in Ride 5 when I was there in Garmisch, but to be honest, I never felt that comfortable. I really wanted to get my hands back on MotoGP again, and even playing it on the Steam Deck felt better than playing Ride 5, so that's a bizarre feeling for me. And I think with all of us, we have our preference with controllers, within platforms. Moving anything, changing anything always feels really strange, and I think even that small adjustment for you to play on a different controller must be very similar to what MotoGP riders feel when they move over to a different motorcycle. If you don't have that confidence, you don't have that feeling, you can't be fast, you can't be competitive, and it just doesn't feel fun. And I've got to say, that's how it kind of felt for me when I was using the PS5 with Ride 5. Not necessarily wrong with the PS5, just Ride 5's lack of vibration on controller on PlayStation. I was really surprised how feeble it felt. Just really weak. Ever so strange, but yeah. I digress from that for now. I am loving the feeling of MotoGP 24 again. I am going to try and record some career modes in a bit. I might even try to do a live stream soon as well, because 100k Blade mentioned 100 laps of the Circuit of the Americas. And to be fair to me, he did try and make it a little bit shorter for me, and he said 100 laps of Laguna Seca. But still, I would like to do it. He suggested it. It sounds like a bit of a boring video, so I'd probably rather live stream it instead. That way we can talk about a few things. That way we can you can ask me anything you wanted to and things like that. So let's do it that way, and maybe I'll do it. I don't want to put a date on it yet, but I will let you know. If it's something that you guys are interested in, you'd like to see me stream 100 laps of the Circuit of the Americas, then please let me know. If you don't want to see it, you think it'd be terrible, then also let me know as well, because I don't really want to waste my time and your time if we could be focusing on something much, much better. Of course, the DrAce Academy Riders Championship is coming up very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm still deciding on a few things. Race coordinators are just waiting for me to make decisions and stuff, because I'm holding them back because I've been away, I've not been prepared, and now I need to still try and get a load of videos done. And yeah, so big celebration across the line with a wheelie, with the ride height device as well, which I didn't know you could do. But let's take a look at the times on the screen right now. Best lap was a 1:37.4 on lap 9, and that was close enough to the ideal lap time, actually. Not too bad with all things considered. I don't think it's a great lap time for the leaderboards, but to get back into MotoGP 24, to have fun, to chat about everything and nothing, that's happy for me. I'm pretty a cool customer, if I do say so myself. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Thanks again for all the messages and support over the weekend. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow for more MotoGP 24 content. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.